Provocative new details have emerged in the sexual harassment case against the Parliamentary Speaker Peter Slipper. In his solicitor's formal response to the claims before the federal court, his accuser and former staffer James Ashby is alleged to have conspired with Mr Slipper's political rivals to damage the reputation of the Speaker. The document also shows text messages between James Ashby and a Senior News Limited journalist that has the government crying foul. From Canberra, Melissa Clark reports, and a warning: this story contains language that may offend some viewers.
It's Peter Slipper's version of events, and it's quite a read. It accuses James Ashby of making the claim that he'd been sexually harassed in an attempt to vilify Peter Slipper and seek to destroy or seriously damage his political position and career so that he could advance the interests of the Liberal National Party in the form of Peter Slipper's rival Mal Brough and enhance James Ashby's own prospects within the LNP. The court documents also accuse Mr Ashby of being duplicitous, pointing to supportive text messages Mr Ashby sent Mr Slipper 2 months before taking legal action against Mr Slipper. "I have your best interests at heart," one of the text messages reads. "I would not bring you into disrepute through my actions. I am more than loyal, and I have no respect for Mr Brough and never will." The document also claims Mr Ashby engaged Mr Slipper in light-hearted banter that occasionally included sexual comments. It points to several specific examples. "I am going to smack you, and Lenny used to call me a lovable cunt because I knew how to play the game. And, cool, let's fuck them up the arse instead."
Where are we going, Jack?
But it doesn't end there. The response also points to the involvement of Daily Telegraph reporter Steve Lewis prior to Mr Ashby filing his sexual harassment complaint with the federal court. One text message from Mr Lewis reads, "We will get him." Another appears to refer to Mr Ashby's travel and accommodation in Sydney while helping the Daily Telegraph with their reports on Peter Slipper's travel entitlements. "I will sort out payment, just tell hotel to book you in again and news will sort," it says. The court documents also claim Mr Ashby and another staffer contacted Mr Slipper's political rival Mal Brough, a former Howard government minister, for help with future career options. Mr Brough plans to run against Mr Slipper in his federal Queensland seat.
Leader of the House.
Thank you, Deputy.
As the new details emerged, the government wasted no time in drawing attention to them.
With every complaint, the Liberal and National parties show exactly that they're in this up to their neck.
The Leader of the House will resume his seat.
And there was a pointed reference to the involvement of journalist Steve Lewis.
We need to draw a distinction, and people in the media need to recognise whether they're reporters or they're participants, whether they're observers or they're activists.
For once, the coalition didn't want to talk about the claims against Mr Slipper.
Matters awaiting adjudication in a court of law should not be brought forward in debate, motions or questions. As this matter is before the federal court, as this matter is before the federal court, it is not an order.
And Peter Slipper's stand-in shared the sentiment.
"I will listen carefully, but I am wary of the issues that are currently, being taken part in court action."
The government sees a conspiracy, with Anthony Albanese drawing a comparison to the Godwin-Gretsch affair, where claims of impropriety were found to be a fabrication. The opposition sees the government with a big mess on its hands. As to which side will come out on top, we won't know until the court case is over. Melissa Clark, Lateline.